Today I am going to go over uh, two problems that are almost exactly the same, and this is something um, that I just wanted to show how you can differentiate between a multiplication problem and a subtraction problem for fractions in particular. So let's go over and read these two questions and then point out the changes. So Miss Graham had 2 5/6 yards of ribbon. She used 3/4 of the ribbon for an art project. How much does she have left? And the second one is Miss Graham had 2 5/6 yards of ribbon. Same thing. She used 3/4 of a yard of ribbon for an art project. How much does she have left? So this is the only difference between these two problems, but they have very different answers. So this first one says she used 3/4 of the ribbon. And this one says, the second one, she used 3/4 of a yard of ribbon. So this first one means that she used 3/4 of the whole ribbon, right? It doesn't say 3/4 of a yard, it says 3/4 of the ribbon. So that means she used 3/4 of um, of the whole ribbon, right? So I'm just going to label these 1 and 2. And so that means we have to multiply 2 and 5/6 times 3/4. So we can either break this apart and do 3/4 times 2 plus 3/4 times 5/6, or we can just turn this into an improper fraction, which is what I'm going to do. So 2 times 6 is 12, plus 5 is 17, so it's 17/6 times 3/4. Now we're just multiplying across. I know that 17 times 3 is 51. 6 times 4 is 24. So now I'm going to turn this back into a mixed number, okay? Because, so let's see, I'm going to turn this into a mixed number, so I have to divide 24 divided, or 51 divided by 24, but I set it up like this, and 24 goes into 51, I know goes in 2 times. 2 times 24 is 48. I subtract 51 minus 48 is 3. So the remainder is 3. So that turns into the quotient. The answer, the full answer is the whole number. The remainder turns into the numerator. The denominator is the divisor, or you can also just think about it as the denominator does not change from the mixed, or from the improper fraction. So now we have 2 and 3/24. But that's how much she used. It says how much does she have left. So we have to subtract from what she started with, which would be 2 and 5/6 minus 2 and 3/24. So what we have to do is find a common denominator. I know that 6 times 4 is 24, so I can multiply these two, and then it becomes 5 times 4 is 20, and then 6 times 4 is 24, and then I'm going to subtract minus 2 and 3/24. So these 2's just cancel each other out, right? 2 minus 2 is 0, and now it's 20/24 minus 3/24, which equals 17/24. So this is the answer for the first one. Okay? I know I just did that quickly, but it's not necessarily the point of the video was to show how to do this. It's more about these questions and how they're different. So let's just erase this, and and go to this next problem. So it says Miss Graham had 2 5/6 yards of ribbon. She used 3/4 of a yard of ribbon for an art project. How much does she have left? So the big difference is it says instead of 3/4 of the ribbon, it says 3/4 of a yard of ribbon. And this is what I want to emphasize. This is how you know if it's multiplication or subtraction. If it's multiplication, it will say 3/4 of the ribbon. It will not include the unit. Now, the unit in this one is yards, but in any other question, it might be something like, say it's a recipe question, it might be a cup or a tablespoon. It could be in weight, it could be pounds or kilograms. The unit is just, it might be inches, feet, meters. It might be time in like a race. It might be minutes, hours. So if it says 3/4 of, and then it mentions the unit of the ribbon, that means that it's going to be a subtraction, because in this first one, when it just says 3/4 of the ribbon, you have to figure out how much 3/4 of the ribbon is. But in this one, it says she used 3/4 of a yard of ribbon. It gives you a very specific amount that is actually used. How much does she have left? So this is now a simple subtraction problem. So really, the biggest thing is knowing that for multiplication, if it says a fraction of the whole thing, of the ribbon, without mentioning the unit, it's going to be multiplication. If it says a fraction of, and then it mentions the unit, a fraction of a yard or a foot or a pound or a cup, then it's going to be subtraction. So this one is subtraction. So just to complete it, it would be 2 5/6 minus 3/4, which she used. I'm going to find the common denominator, which is 24. Multiply this by 6/6. So that's 18 24ths. And then 5/6 would be, multiply this by 4/4. So that would be 20 24ths. 2 and 20 24ths minus 18 24ths, which would equal 20 minus 18 is 2, so it would be 2 and 2 24ths. But since both 2 and 24 are even, I can divide both top and bottom by 2, and it would be 2 and 1/12 yards of ribbon. So, that is how you do these problems, and I just wanted to mention that's how you know if it's a multiplication problem or a subtraction problem. Multiplication problem is just the fraction of the whole thing, the ribbon, right? And a subtraction problem will give you a fraction of, and then mention the unit of a yard of ribbon. And that will mean that it's subtraction. All right, so hopefully that is helpful. It might be good to just write this down and kind of memorize it, that when they mention the unit, it's going to be a subtraction problem. When they don't mention the unit and just say 3/4 of the thing, then it's going to be, you're going to have to multiply. All right. Hopefully that was helpful.